Sonder is the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. You see a man at a gas station. He has an internal monologue. He has childhood traumas. He has a specific preference for laundry detergent. You are merely a background character in his narrative. This realization is a direct assault on the human ego. The brain is biologically hardwired for narcissism to ensure survival. Acknowledging the depth of 8 billion other consciousnesses creates a cognitive overload. The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows coined this term in 2012. It highlights the mathematical impossibility of true empathy. You cannot download the data of another person's soul. You are trapped in a biological vessel with a limited perspective. Modern urban design exacerbates this feeling. High-density housing puts thousands of complex narratives in a single square mile. Each window represents a different set of debts, regrets, and secret joys. The global economy relies on you ignoring this. If you truly felt the weight of every individual's struggle, the system would collapse under the weight of collective grief. Instead, you categorize people as obstacles or utilities. The woman in line ahead of you is not a person, she is a delay. The delivery driver is not a human, he is a logistics vector. Sonder breaks this illusion momentarily. It reminds you that you are a replaceable extra in a movie you will never watch. The irony is total. You are the center of your universe and a footnote in everyone else's.
Canopsia. Canopsia is the eerie, forlorn atmosphere of a place that is usually bustling with people but is now abandoned and quiet. Think of a shopping mall at 3 a.m. Think of a school hallway during summer break. These spaces are designed for high-capacity human throughput. Their architecture demands a crowd to justify its existence. Without people, the functional becomes the grotesque. The lighting remains on. The escalators continue to move. The air conditioning hums. This is the psychological breakdown of purpose. The term stems from the Greek words for emptiness and scenery. It describes a data void. The human brain looks for social cues and finds only sterile surfaces. Liminal spaces thrive on this sensation. They are transitional zones meant to be passed through, not inhabited. When the transition stops, the space turns on the observer. Real estate developers ignore the psychological cost of empty infrastructure. A vacant office park is a monument to failed capital. It is a skeleton of a dream that required constant human motion to stay alive. The silence in these places is heavy. It carries the weight of thousands of departed voices. You feel like an intruder in a world that has already moved on. The irony lies in the construction. We build massive structures to facilitate connection, yet their most profound emotional impact occurs when they are completely empty. The building outlives the utility. The scenery remains while the actors disappear. You are left staring at the stage after the play has been canceled.
Monachopsis. Monachopsis is the subtle but persistent feeling of being out of place. It is a maladaptation to the current environment. You are at a party. You are at your desk. You are in your own living room. Yet you feel like a biological error. The sensation is akin to being a saltwater fish in a freshwater tank. Evolutionarily, humans are designed for small tribes and clear survival goals. Modern society offers a surplus of stimuli and a deficit of belonging. The psychological impact is a constant state of low-level alienation. You look at the people around you and see them performing their roles with apparent ease. You suspect they are faking it. You know you are faking it. This is not social anxiety. It is an existential mismatch. The economic system profits from this displacement. It sells you products to bridge the gap between who you are and where you think you should be. You buy the furniture to feel at home. You buy the clothes to look like you belong. None of it works. The feeling persists because the modern world is an artificial construct. It was built for efficiency, not for the human psyche. You are a hunter-gatherer trying to navigate a spreadsheet. The irony is that everyone else in the room is likely experiencing the same internal displacement. You are all outsiders together, pretending to be insiders. The collective performance of belonging is the only thing keeping the social fabric from tearing. You are home, but you are not.
Lacacism. You do not want to die, but you want to survive a plane crash. You want to lose everything in a fire. You want to see a hurricane level your neighborhood. This is the brain's rebellion against the suffocating safety of modern life. In a world of insurance policies, ergonomic chairs, and scheduled maintenance, the primal survival instinct becomes restless. It craves a test. It wants to know what happens when the infrastructure fails. This feeling is a byproduct of the boredom of the safe. Humans spent millennia fighting for survival. Now we fight for parking spots. The psychological tension needs a release valve. Lacacism is that valve. It is the dark urge to see the deck shuffled by chaos. It explains the fascination with disaster movies and true crime. We consume the misfortune of others as a surrogate for our own missing trauma. The economic impact of this feeling is seen in the doom-scrolling industry. Bad news sells because it provides the stimulation that a stable life lacks. You want the stakes to be high because your current stakes are zero. The irony is that those who actually experience disaster spend the rest of their lives craving the boredom you currently resent. You want the fire so you can feel the heat. They want the ice so they can finally stop burning.
Ennewment. Ennewment is the bittersweet wish that you could go back in time and tell your past self what the future holds. You want to provide a roadmap to the person you used to be. This is a manifestation of the tragedy of linear time. Knowledge is only acquired through the consumption of the present. By the time you have the wisdom to fix your mistakes, the opportunity to use it has passed. This creates a psychological feedback loop of regret. You look at old photographs and see a person who is about to walk into a trap. You want to scream a warning. The term highlights the uselessness of hindsight. Hindsight is a luxury for the old and a torment for the thoughtful. The market capitalizes on this through the nostalgia industry. We buy reboots of our childhood media to reclaim a sense of certainty. We want to return to a time when the future was still undecided. The paradox of ennewment is that if you did go back and warn yourself, you would become a different person. The wisdom you want to share was forged by the very mistakes you want to prevent. You cannot have the map without first getting lost. The irony is total. Your current self is the direct result of the past self's ignorance. To save your past self is to erase your current self. You are mourning the loss of a version of you that only exists because it was uninformed.
Velature is the strange wistfulness of used bookstores. It is the feeling of being surrounded by thousands of old books that you will never have time to read. These shops are graveyards of thought. Each book represents a dead person's attempt to be heard. The physical scent of these places is a chemical process. Lignin in the paper breaks down over decades. It releases vanillin and benzaldehyde. You are literally smelling the decay of information. This is the industrial age equivalent of an ancient ruin site. Before the digital era, books were the primary method of data storage. Now they are decorative artifacts. They occupy physical space in a world that is moving toward the virtual. The economic value of a used book is often less than the cost of the paper it is printed on, yet the emotional value remains high. Velature is the realization that human knowledge is transient. Most of the ideas in those books are now obsolete. The science is wrong. The politics are dated. The fiction is forgotten. You are walking through a library of failed immortality. Each author hoped their words would live forever. Instead, they are gathering dust in a basement. The irony is that you find this decay comforting. You feel a connection to the past through objects that have been abandoned by the present. You are seeking meaning in the trash of previous generations. Yauska. Yauska is a hypothetical conversation that you compulsively play out in your head. You are winning an argument against your boss. You are delivering a witty comeback to an ex. You are explaining your life philosophy to a talk show host who will never interview you. This is the brain's way of rehearsing for a reality that does not exist. It is a massive waste of neural energy. The average human spends hours every week in these internal dramas. It is a symptom of social anxiety and the need for control. In your head, you are articulate and devastating. In reality, you are silent and awkward. The cognitive load of Yauska is significant. It increases cortisol levels and prevents the brain from entering a resting state. The irony is that these mental rehearsals actually make you worse at real interaction. You become so attached to the script in your head that you cannot react to the actual words being said by the other person. You are fighting a phantom and losing the real battle. The economy of attention thrives on this. Social media provides the fuel for these internal arguments. You see a post, you get angry, and you spend the next hour arguing with a profile picture in your mind. The platform wins. You lose. You have spent your most valuable resource, time, on a conversation with yourself.
Chrysalism. Chrysalism is the amniotic tranquility of being indoors during a thunderstorm. You are safe,
You are dry, you are warm. Outside, the atmosphere is venting millions of volts of electricity. Trees are snapping, the wind is howling. You feel a deep evolutionary satisfaction. This is the biological reward for securing shelter. For most of human history, a storm was a death sentence. To be inside is to have won the game of survival for another day. We have commodified this feeling through the construction industry. We pay mortgages and rent to buy the right to ignore nature. The irony is that the more we insulate ourselves, the more we crave the visual of the storm. We build large windows specifically to watch the chaos from a position of safety. We want to see the danger as long as it cannot touch us. This is a controlled flirtation with extinction. The psychological peace you feel is predicated on the strength of a few inches of drywall and glass. If the roof fails, the chrysalism vanishes instantly and is replaced by raw terror. We live in a civilization built on the fragile barrier between us and a hostile planet. We call it cozy because we have forgotten how easily the barrier breaks. The irony is that your peace of mind depends entirely on the fact that something outside is trying to kill you. Without the storm, the house is just a box. With the storm, it is a sanctuary.